Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Ria Singh, technical analyst currencies joining in. Ria, welcome to the show. Ria, let's start with regards to the Indian rupee. On the back of the GDP numbers that have come in, you are seeing some bit of positive momentum. There is a bit of recovery that has come in. But do you think it will be sustainable, number one, or do you think the volatility will remain taking into consideration? We have the MPC meeting that we already spoke about yesterday.
True. We did see, India registered a GDP growth of 8.4%, as versus the 8.3% that was so far. So it is somewhat in line. Now, the major GDP rebound is, as the COVID infections have lowered and the economy has reopened from quite uh, uh, from past few months have garnered this growth momentum. So I think the major contributing variable for the improvement in the GDP could be owed to the service sector because during the pandemic, a lot of services were down, tourism, education, malls, and such. So now they have opened up quite a bit, the tourism, education, malls, restaurant as well. So they have garnered, they have helped the GDP recovery momentum. So whether it will carry on, I think it will definitely depend on where the RBI will take the monetary policy also, because obviously the recent reforms such as corporate tax lowering, providing with the manufacturing subsidy, and the relaxation on VAT on petrol prices in Delhi that we have seen recently. It's a start, but I think it will definitely put some relief on the cap. But obviously, it will be, I think, going forward, like as we have spoke, RBI will continue with the accommodative stand because uh, there is still some recovery that needs to be done. We are not yet at the pre-pandemic levels, so there is still some long way to go for that. I think the only risk to our GDP at the moment will be the inflation, the potency of vaccines against the current variant that has emerged, and the possibility of renewed restrictions if there is some major pressure that it does come out of this variant. Though from the talks that we have seen recently, the government or the central bank will not are not very keen on to put the complete lockdown. There is some restrictions on the international travels and so forth. But I think complete lockdown will be avoided, and this will uh, be like a the phase out uh, ticker that can happen. So there is a lot of uncertainty yet into the GDP growth. So going forward, whether I think the dollar lookout and what the Fed have recently said is also somewhat affecting the Indian rupee. Uh, that is the reason why we are seeing such a consolidated phase into the Indian rupee. From the past few sessions, the rupee has remained quite stringent into the range of 75.37 and 75. In order to resume its appreciation phase, it has to trade below the 75. Only then we can see the levels like 74.89, 74.55. But it is respecting the range quite a bit. And I think unless there is some intervention that happens from the central bank, we'll not see much of the appreciation or depreciation in the Indian rupee. It will be more of a range bound sessions, I think, between 75.37 and 75 range. So it will be quite a narrowed, sideways consolidated momentum that we could see in the coming sessions.
Right. With this, if you see in terms of the dollar as well, that has been seeing bullish gains. Sorry, the bullish gains have been relaxed, and this is post the speech that we heard from Powell. So, basis that, how do you see the movement going on?
Well, the speech by Powell has took a transition from dovish to hawkish, and is signaling quite an earlier shift from the accommodative policy that it has observed so far. So this has been fueling in the sentiment that that the central bank will announce a faster taper pace in its December meeting. So And also, the speech also indicated that the current focus is on the price stability and the expansion of getting the labor participation rate up, because both of these will highly depend on the efficacy of Fed in getting the inflation under control, which he have made clear, very clear that they have suspended the term transitionary from the inflation. So the previous how they were seeing the inflation, and now I think they are taking the inflation factor quite seriously, and they are that is the central point of the whole speech of the Powell. So bottom line will be Powell has sent a clear message that the inflation is a top concern for the Fed, and the market could brace for a faster taper announcement in December. So I think if the tape announcement comes in, and you're taking into consideration the recent data points that have come from the US economy, both of this will aid into the bullish gain. So I think the relaxation phase that we are currently seeing is factor is was I think they are waiting for a clear guideline that will be coming in December. So after this, we can see dollar regaining its bullish stand.
Right. So that's with regards to where the overall dollar index goes. What's your view on the euro? Because that's witnessing a major backdrop after commencing the week on a strong note.
Well, the inflation numbers was the key point that we were all looking forward to for the month. And if you look at the November, the inflation numbers have quite accelerated, and it has come in line with what we were expecting as well. The headline inflation jumped to around 4.9%. So this is quite surpassing the ceiling that the euro. So the ECB had set for itself. Of course, taking into consideration the major factor being the surge in the energy prices. Now, the rising COVID-19 case and the return of tighter containment pressure in the parts of the region may have added some more pressure in this category. So this will add concern at the ECB, as it is debating the future of its asset purchase program, because even though the whole euro area is witnessing quite an acceleration in the headline inflations and the core inflations as well, uh, there is very less likelihood that the ECB will pull out its asset purchase program, taking into consideration the dent that will be coming forward with respect to some of the countries going into the complete lockdown. So I think Europe could remain under pressure. The hiccups that we are seeing, the green shoots, I think is going to some of the backdrop into the dollar strength. This is one of the reason why we did see one or two sessions where euro has come back with a stronger hand. But I think it is just a momentary gain, and it will continue to remain under pressure.
Right. So overall, what are the levels that you would be watching out for in today's session? Anything special or any strategies? Or do you think because of the kind of consolidation that we are seeing, this wouldn't be the right time to give out strategies?
I think Rupee will definitely be in a consolidated range, and like I said, it is hitting on both the side. It is hoping on a flat note or on a weaker note, and going the first half into a weaker zone, and then again regaining strength. So it's quite a consolidated range right now, and I think it will be prudent to not touch the Indian Rupee in the intraday sessions for now. Uh, the uh, 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 the short will be taken if the Indian rupee reaches the level of 75. So 75 is a major support into the Indian rupee right now, and if it gives a breakdown to that, it could regain its the bearish momentum towards 74.89 and 74.70. So if that happens, one can take a short position. I'm not very much positive whether it will again, retrace the levels of 75.40, 75.55, because it has been facing quite a strong resistance and is not able to hold that trade leg. So I think it will be more prudent way to go short below the 75 for a target of 74.89 and 74.70. And if it comes around 74.97, you can also along with that go for a put of 74.75 or even 75.40. But I think it's a wait and watch right now. Wait for a breakdown of 75 only. Then I think it would be prudent way to go for a strategy right now.
Right. So these are views coming in overall with regards to where currencies as a whole goes. Thank you, Ria. Thank you, participants, also for joining in.
Thank you, Veera.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.